And we're going to go live.
Hey everybody, it's Matt Johnson here with Real Estate Uncensored. This is the latest episode. It's actually a special mini episode. We're talking about the Bay Area real estate market. We've got a special guest with us as well. Greg McDaniel, as always, is in the co-pilot seat with me. Greg, how's it going?
Dude, Matt, I love doing our mini hangouts, man. Everybody on Periscope is following me right now. Hey, you guys are awesome. Thanks for showing up. Tony Mendes, a growing fast, very, very fast friend of mine. He is a fantastic lender that's here in the Bay Area that we're doing a lot of business with right now. This man is a master of his craft. You guys are going to be watching those both on Periscope, the recorded versions, and live with us on our Google Hangout. And then, of course, when we put everything together, you're going to see all kinds of different sides of shooting on the back end. But, you know, Tony, the market is changing quite a bit. You and I do a lot of radio, and we're going to start doing a lot more hangouts together. You know, what are you coming across right now in regards to seeing kind of what the market's doing? You know, how is it changing? What are you seeing with your buyers right now?
Yeah, thanks, Greg. It's a good question because a lot of people are looking for, you know, how to get into the market, especially first-time home buyers. And it continues to be the main focus is interest rates. Our affordability here in the Bay Area is something that's always in the forefront of any buyer because, you know, home prices are higher here than anywhere else in the United States. But we do have the good low interest rates. They're in fact about 2% lower than they were back in 2007 when we hit our previous peak. So people are benefiting in that respect. However, as the home prices are being pushed up in some of these areas, that affordability level, that's the number one factor. And then a lot of sellers are looking at offers and saying, you know what, we have a buyer over here that has a little bit more down payment than this other buyer. How do we get our offer accepted? And sometimes that buyer has to put a little bit more money down or offer a little bit more to compensate for the lack of down payment just to get that interest from that seller. So we're really looking at a seller's market. The buyers are, you know, their hands aren't completely tied because when they work with a good realtor, now we've worked together quite a few times, Greg, that it doesn't always have to be a 50% down payment with 800 credit scores and really good debt ratios to get your offer accepted. You know, you can sell your house and buy a house contingent on the sale of your house. You can have 20% down. I've done loans with 10% down where people are getting a second loan and a first loan that's conforming, or just to help with their get that first rate a little bit better on their first loan. So there's ways that people can get involved. So these are some things right now. And I know you do all the time, Greg.
Yeah, we do that, man. We absolutely do. We're seeing the markets change a lot for us as well. You know, the markets here in the Bay Area sometimes is a little bit different than other places in the country. But, I mean, Matt, you're out of Omaha. I mean, how's it with you and your market out there?
Starting to slow down a little bit. So the main client that I work with here in Omaha, he was originally projecting that he was going to sell over. He's projecting that originally he was going to sell over 700 homes. Now he's had to back that down to between 550 and 600. So just the pace of the market has slowed. It's not like interest rates aren't really creeping up, and prices aren't creeping up and things like that. But for some reason, just the pace of how things were moving quickly earlier this year has already slowed down. And for us, like, the weather here hasn't really changed at all. I mean, it's felt a little bit more like fall, but it's still been beautiful. I mean, it's not hindering people from getting out there and looking at homes. We haven't really hit that situation here in our area yet, so it's nothing like that. It's just the pace of things has slowed down.
And we definitely have that pace issue. That is definitely something that's on our side of the industry, the real estate and the mortgage side. We've seen a big time slowdown. I lost you for a sec, Greg.
Hey, Greg, you're muted.
I know. I'm having an awesome time talking with all my my Periscope folks. They're giving us some love from Germany. All around the world, we're getting some hits up. So it's kind of fun.
Cool.
Sorry, I was in the middle of talking German. What were we talking about? I'm sorry not to tune you guys out. It's very difficult to do 3 different cameras at once, I will tell you.
I bet. Anyway, so what are you seeing from sellers? Tony was just saying that you guys are seeing the same thing in the Bay Area, so the pace of the market is slowing down. So how is that affecting you when you're working with seller clients?
You know what? For us, for everybody that's watching this right now, what we're seeing about around the Bay Area for seller clients is we're not seeing a slowdown at all. We're actually seeing a significant uptick in regards to our open houses, our buyers that are coming through. We had a real slowdown after our last holiday. What was it? Labor Day, I believe it was a couple weeks ago. It was pretty much dead for us at that point. But after that, we've seen a resurgence of buyers coming out. We're seeing, I mean, a lot of our properties like. Tony, our guy, you know, Brian down in Dublin, we had an over the listing price offer. Unfortunately, other circumstances came in that hindered the sale of that home, which we're working through. But we had another open house in Danville, and that's $1,399,000. And our team manager, Eileen, that was there was just constantly crushing through. She lost count at about 45 groups. So you had 150 people through that open house nonstop. So our sellers, we're seeing an uptick. Our buyers are getting a little disheartened, though. Our buyers are the people going in there, and they're competing against everybody, and they can't seem to win, and that's what's really bothering them. Exactly right. Double crying right there. A lot of buyers aren't liking that too much. So if we can get more product, it'd be the biggest part for us.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say, is that you need more product. You definitely have the demand. And one of the changes that we've seen over the last 8-9 years, and if we're still staying on that, what's changed in the industry or the market topic, is that inventory's just dropped significantly. We're really looking for having a really good summer. We saw we actually thought in 2014 that 2015 was going to be a better year than 2014 as far as volume, but it's really not that much of a pickup. The summer was kind of tame, and it never really panned out. But what that does is it continues pushing up home prices. Quality homes will continue to always demand more of those traffic. And you know, as far as the mortgage side, you know, we're getting plenty of pre-approvals, but you know, some of these pre-approvals I'm sitting on for 2, 3, 4 months. One guy I did about 8 months before he finally found a property, and he was having trouble keeping up with, you know, building his down payment each time because his home prices keep going up. But that's slowed down quite a bit as far as the increase of prices. The inventory hasn't, though, so you still have to find that good strategy going into that offer that makes a lot of sense for that seller to look at it. What's attractive about this offer? And I think that's really the changes that people aren't used to.
Yeah. Matt, what's your take on that?
I was just going to ask you guys, you know, like, so what's the answer to it from a buyer's perspective? I mean, it's been a while since I was in that position. We don't have a lot of multiple offer scenarios in the Midwest. There's just not that demand. There's too many cookie cutter houses and stuff like that. So we have low inventory, but that doesn't lead to the buyer frenzy that you guys see in the Bay Area. So, I mean, Tony, how do you help somebody from the financial end write a really strong offer that's backed by good financing so they have a shot when they're going up against 3 or 4, 5, 10 other buyers?
That is the magic question and there's no real magic answer. You start with working with a good team, right? There's the advantages of having a realtor that you know, or that works with the loan guy is really an important part of the factor. When you don't have that symmetry, that going back and forth that really makes a difference, that communication. Other than that, you really need to have, the buyer really needs to know their options. And there are plenty of options for people, first-time home buyers, any home buyer for that matter, going in with either low down payment or more down payment. It's about how you write your offer. Are you going to go get beyond a pre-approval letter and actually get what they call to be determined pre-approval, where it's actually a letter from the lender that says you're approved. Do is fill in the address and get an appraisal that matches, and then maybe a couple documents. That's actually an approval without an address. And for a seller, and look at that and go, you know what? They already approved. We just need to do the fill in the address, get a title report that's clean, and just do some minor paperwork. That could be something that a lot of people are doing. We're doing more and more of those right now. But if you're just doing a pre-approval and you're putting a lot of cash down, that's also something that looks attractive. But Greg, you've done motivation letters, you've done cover letters, you've done everything that you can to, I don't know if you do show financials, credit reports, everything you can to get that seller to look at that offer.
Well, one of the couple of things you want to do when you want to get an offer accepted, or you want someone to be paying attention to your offer more than someone else's, you want to humanize your buyers as much as humanly possible. So you got to pull on the old heartstrings a little bit. You have to make sure that the seller knows that these buyers why they want to buy this house. Yes, you want to show strong financials. Yes, you want to have a letter from the lender. Yes, you want to be obviously qualified, more than qualified, to buy the home. But if you talk about the two daughters that are in the swim team right down the road, and they want to be a part of the country club, and their friends and family are a part of in that neighborhood, and they spend all their time here, and blah blah blah, that really gets people. I've had sellers of mine who actually take lower offers based upon the fact that they want a family to move into the home, not an investor just to go flip the house. So, I mean, it really comes down to, one, can you get the seller to understand that you are human, and two, what kind of letter is appropriate. I mean, I have another buyer right now. She's a first-time home buyer, single gal, younger. She's a labor and delivery nurse, and I worked with one of her coworkers, and I said, look, both you ladies are single right now. I want pictures of you like delivering children, not the physical act, but like right afterwards. I want the little baby crying, and you're standing there all up in the get up, and I want to say how many you want to grow your family in these homes, all of this stuff. Because, I mean, nothing will pull on someone's heartstrings more than kids and puppies, okay? And if you can bring them both together, trifecta. You have everything done the way you want to get it.
So say, let's not dying. Selling a house, and then it's just the puppies. That's the only heartstring that works.
Yes, money is money, but puppies and children, man, that will get the job done for you.
Matt, but you can kind of see that there's not a real answer for this. It's
different for every situation.
It's really difficult to just say this is the one magic way to do this. Again, you have to start with working professionals. Greg, you turned me on to one of the best quotes that I've been using lately. It says, if you thought it was expensive working with a professional, try working with an amateur. I mean, that just speaks volume. And there's people out there that can attest for that. It really is expensive to work, doesn't work well with other people who hasn't been in the industry long enough. And I still see people go out and they use their friends for real estate because they just happen to have got a license because they were trying to sell their house and save some money. And be really careful about things like that. And I know you want to, and Greg, I hear you talk a lot about the heartstrings and the emotions involved in buying and selling a house, and that's what real estate's all about. It is about the emotion. You can probably tell a little bit from me. It's about the numbers and about what visually people can see and sell and touch. So it's a good combination of numbers and emotions and a realtor and a good phone person, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, it is. It really, really is. You need to have the right team with you when you buy and sell a home, because generally when you're selling, you're buying again somewhere, doing something, and you have to have the right people around you, because there are a lot of circumstances. Almost in every single deal is going to be a new circumstance that you've never gone through before. So this is going to be your first time going through it, and well, not us, the agents, but every single deal has new wrinkles, pimples, and smiles, as we like to call it, because there's not a single deal ever in your career as either a buyer or seller or a professional, either lender or agent, that deal is going to be cookie cutter the exact same. Will not be that way.
Yeah, that's why you get paid. So
that's why you get paid the big bucks.
That's why the professionals exist. So all right, guys, we're about out of time. Right. So Tony, what's the best way for people to reach you?
This way, just the website, BayAreaLoanSource.com. Pretty simple. We specialize in Bay Area real estate, financial transactions. BayAreaLoanSource.com.
Perfect. And then for anybody that wants to get in touch with Greg, obviously just check out McDanielRealEstateSystems.com. You can follow him at McDaniel Systems on Twitter. You can follow me at Broken Funnel. We're both broadcasting these things on Periscope as well, in addition to some of the other broadcasts that we do, which is exactly what Greg's doing right now, instead of talking to us on the Hangout.
I am right here, buddy. I am right here. This is what you call multitasking.
Multitasking, that's right. All right, guys. That is it. That's been your Bay Area real estate market update for today, September 21st. So thanks so much, guys, and we will see you on the next one.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.